Chapter 30. Captain Trollman Clog woke feeling tremendously braced. He drank a flagon of seaweed ale, devoured a huge platter of pickled whelks and cockles, then sat back rebraiding some pleats on his chest. There was a gentle knock on the longhouse door. "Is that you, Crosstooth?" Clog called out without looking up from his task. "Any sign of battering yet, matey?" The door creaked open, and Badring stood framed in the doorway, sunlight pouring in around him. "Get your braided behind off my chair, Clog." The Corsair was so surprised that the chair fell over backwards as he tried to lurch up. Dust rose in a golden shower of motes around him as the tyrant of Marshank strode across and placed a none too gentle footpaw firmly on his bloated stomach. "Go on, Clog. Ask me how I got here." "How did you get here?" The Corsair spluttered from his position on the floor. Badring smirked, pressing down harder on Clog's stomach. "If you had as much brain in your head as you had fat in your gut, you'd know. I came in through the tunnel that the slaves escaped from. You can go both ways through it, in or out. Obviously, you didn't think of that, swillhead." With a sudden move that belied his bulk, Clog wriggled free of Badring's paw and ran for the door, shouting, "Crosstooth! Gruzzle! Boggs! Arm the crew! Badring's here!" The tyrant stoat righted the fallen chair and sat in it smiling. "Shout your thick head off, bucko. You'll get no help." Clog stood for a moment glaring at the horde soldiers surrounding the longhouse. Then he whirled to face Badring. "You foul-hearted blackguard! You've murdered all me lovely crew!" Badring sniffed the empty seaweed ale flagon, wrinkled his nose in distaste, and pushed it away from him. "Hardly, but I could have. It's no trouble tying up a crowd of idiots who've drunk themselves to sleep on beetroot wine and seaweed ale. As for those 2 dozy sentries you left posted on the wall top over the gate, they've got lumps on their heads the size of gull eggs. Did you actually think that you could take Marshank from me?" Clog's attitude changed like a breeze at sea. Throwing his paws wide, he grinned in what he hoped was a disarming manner. "Matey, who said anything about taking your fortress from me? Why, I was only minding it until you returned after chasing those pesky slaves. Me and my crew was acting duty-bound as caretakers. Oh, by the by, did you catch the slaves, did he?" Badring shook his head coolly. "I didn't have to. Come with me, and I'll show you why." The Corsair crew sat in ranks at a corner of the courtyard, tightly bound and closely guarded by the tyrant's horde. Badring led Clog to the center of the courtyard. The pirate stoat was forced to stand silent and listen to Badring's announcement as he addressed the crew. "Pay attention, you Corsairs. You have 3 simple choices. 1 is slavery. I have no slaves to serve me at the moment. 2 is death. You can stay loyal to Clog, and for that, you will be executed. The charges are attempting to steal Marshank from me and siding with my enemy. The 3rd and final choice is that you swear allegiance to me and join my horde as soldiers. Well, what is it to be?" The fox Crosstooth struggled upright. "Cut these ropes from me! I'll serve under Lord Badring's colors!" It did not take long for the others to follow. "Hi, set me loose! I'm with Crosstooth!" "Me too, matey. I'll be an old beast. No point in being a Corsair without a ship. Better in being a slave or getting executed." Clog shook his head sadly. "'Twas an evil day when I landed up on this coast. Boggs, Gruzzle, Crosstooth, Was I ever a bad captain, T? Nah, Captain, you was a good un. We had some rare old times together. You just made too many mistakes, Trollman Clog. Aye, when it's sink or swim, a creature has to look after hisself, Captain. No hard feelings. While the new Horde members took the oath and signed articles with Battering, Clog was led off to the prison pit by 2 soldiers. He stared down into the hole miserably. So it's come to this, being slung in an hole like a worm. They nudged Clog towards a barrel with a spade in it. You're not going in it. Lord Battering's orders are that you must fill it in. Think yourself lucky. Instead of execution, he's giving you the chance to become an honest, hard-working slave. And don't fret. There'll be work aplenty for you. Felder was training an army to attack Marshank, the Fur and Freedom Fighters. Their flag waved proudly over the camp on the cliffs, a green banner with the representation of a flying javelin severing a chain. Roanoke shook her aching paws. I hope they don't want uniforms as well. It took me hours to make that flag, rummaging through our costume box and sewing this bit to that. It does look rather good, though. Bala broke off from drilling a marching column. He swaggered jauntily across and threw Roanoke an elaborate salute. All present and correct, ma'am. What time are you serving us stout creatures some jolly old luncheon, what? An army marches on its stomach and all that, you know? The Badger turned her eyes skyward as if seeking help. It's a wonder you can do any marching at all with that stomach of yours, you great floppy-head feedbag. Don't ask me. Go and see the cooks. Bala marched off, a blaze of military color in the uniform he had designed for himself from the troop's wardrobe. He sang to keep himself in step. All the ladies smile at me, look at there, he's a fine dashing figure of a hare, he'd fight off a horde alone, he's a warrior to the bone, feed him plenty and you'll never have a care. Feldo laid a lance on his throwing stick. The group he was training followed his actions, laying lances on their sticks as he instructed them. Arm right back at shoulder level, paw gripping stick firmly. Lean your head in. Take sight at the target along the javelin shaft. Weight on the back foot paw. And throw! The small hillock daubed with the likeness of Battering was pin-cushioned by 18 lances. Kayla picked up a pebble, demonstrating to his group. See? An ordinary stone, but it can become a weapon. In paw-to-paw combat, you can use it held tight as a club. Hit the foe with it as hard as you can. Or you can throw it. Watch! He hurled the pebble and struck one of the lances on the hillock. The mouse called Juniper held up a sling. Look what old Barkyong gave me. What is it, Kayla? The otter took the tough vine thong, shaking his head in admiration as he fitted a pebble to the tongue at its middle. He swung it experimentally, testing its balance. This is a fine sling. Give me a target to throw at. Juniper pointed to the hillock. Hit one of those lances like you did when you threw the pebble. Crack! No sooner had the words left Juniper's mouth than Kayla sent the pebble whistling from its whirling sling. It struck a lance, snapping it near the point with a cracking impact. Kayla wound the sling around his paw with a happy smile. I'll go and see if Barkyong can make us more of these. Gouchy and Castern had a good number of long poles, sometimes used by the rambling rosehip players when they were erecting an improvised tint. Trefoil had suggested that they would make good pikes, using the pointed ends which had served as tent stakes. Buckler, his injured shoulder still bandaged, drilled a group in the uses of the pike. Points up! Points down! Points forward! Charge! Celandine sat dabbing her paws in rosewater. Silly creatures. You'll either get hurt or have nasty rough paws from using those great long things. She found herself looking down the point of Gotchi's pike.
Off to the cookhouse and help out if you don't want to train as a fighter, little Miss Fusstail.
Bala waggled his ears at Tolgru, Purslane, and Gayum in a very persuasive manner.
Top of the morning, cooks. When does a chap get some fodder round here?
The baby Fussel was dressed in an oversized apron, tucked up twice at his middle. He was spreading honey on scones with a wooden spoon. Tolgru pointed in his direction.
Don't ask us, Bala. Put in your request to Quartermaster Sergeant Fuffle over there.
The tiny mouse waved the spoon sternly at the hare.
Fuffle say back to work or I'll chop your tail off.
Bala backed away from the sticky, spoon-wielding infant.
Nuff said, old lad. Nod's as good as a wink to a starved warrior. I say, Purslane, you've got a very violent offspring there.
Lunch was a simple affair. Leek and cabbage soup, summer salad, followed by honeyed scones and strawberry cordial. The midday sun was tempered by a gentle breeze from the sea as the newly formed fur and freedom fighters sat about, eating and taking their ease. Roanoke, Bala, Feldo, and Barkyon held an open discussion on the merits and drawbacks of going into battle. Barkyon and Roanoke were not convinced that it was a good idea.
Feldo, you haven't got 1/10 of the force that Battering commands,
the old squirrel cautioned his son.
We're not strong enough yet. Lives could be lost needlessly in an attack on Marshank.
The strong young squirrel put aside his food. I'm not talking about pitched battle, father. Lightning attacks are what I plan. Hit hard and fast, then vanish. What's the matter with you? I've seen the days when we were slaves that you would vow vengeance on Battering and all his kind. Roanoke intervened.
You both have valid points, Feldo, but I agree with your father. We are not warriors, nor have we been into battle before. Granted that Battering is evil, and Marshank needs destroying. But you must realize that his horde are all seasoned killers and trained fighters. All that you have at the moment is a small bunch of freed slaves and some strolling players.
Bala finished off a scone, licking honey from his paws.
But we freed the slaves, didn't we? Brome walked right into old Bad Bottom's fort and bluffed it out. Who's to say we can't become a first-rate fighting force and whack them for good? What do you say, eh, Brome, old fella?
Brome avoided Feldo's eyes.
I can't say much. I may be good at bluffing, but I'm not a warrior. I know that now. I don't want to see creatures killed, particularly our own.
Feldo ruffled his young friend's ears. Then you can become a healer, one who cares for the wounded. It takes a brave beast to dash about in battle doing that. Old Gayum dipped a scone in her cordial to soften it.
All this talk of fighting and killing. Why don't we just find another place far away from here, where we can enjoy life? Leave Battering to his own devices and forget about the whole nasty thing, Marshank and these shores.
Suddenly, Purslane was up, her eyes blazing.
I'll tell you why. Because if Battering is still there, and Marshank still stands, then other creatures will be captured and taken as slaves. I have a little one, and I would fight with my life so that he could grow up a free creature.
Kayla sprang up, applauding her brave words.
Well said, Mom. We know what it's like to live under the whips of a tyrant. It's not life, it's living death.
Feldo turned to his father and Roanoke. These creatures have said it all. I could not have spoken more strongly. I will lead the first attack tonight. Barkyon looked up at his strong, fearless son.
It has been in you to do this thing since you were a little one in the quarry, helping me to haul rocks. May the seasons and good fortune aid you, Feldo, and keep those under you safe.
Roanoke shrugged, knowing protest would be useless.
What can I say except break a leg?
Felder looked puzzled until Bala explained.
In the acting game, it's our way of saying good luck to a chap.
The baby Fuffle waved his wooden spoon.
Break both legs.
There was laughter and applause for the infant's wisdom.